Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my next guest is this incredible person who was actually a housemate in the Big Brother of 2020 this year, and her name's Danni. She was one of the contestants in Big Brother, so I'm about to give Danni an ad into the live now. So I'm about to send her an invite, and here we go.
Hello,
Hey,
Andrew.
how's it going?
How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
How's your day been?
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what I'll get you to do, Danni, is introduce yourself, explain a bit about what you do, and then I'll dive right into the questions.
Okay, so Danny from Big Brother 2020. What do I do? Today's my birthday. Woohoo, 35. Loving life. Yeah, I'm just still coming off the Big Brother ride. It's been amazing. Back to work. Nothing much has changed. Still the same me.
Awesome. Well, can I just say happy birthday first up for your
You.
birthday today. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Danni. So my first
Perfect.
question, what was it? What was the experience like auditioning for Big Brother and then going into the Big Brother house?
So it's funnily enough, I actually got a reminder on my Facebook on the 5th of October, which is the day I applied. It was a whole, it's my birthday, fuck it, let's just apply. Who knows what will happen? And so I literally was like, okay, I'm going to answer these questions like truthfully, no matter how embarrassing they are. And whatever first came to mind. So I just did that process. I think it took maybe like an hour. And then I got my first phone call and was just basically introducing myself and why I want to do it. Then I got a second phone call, which was to come to Brisbane to do group auditions. So I flew down. It was over 2 days if you're successful on the first day. So I did all my group auditions, and it was still surreal at this point because you don't ever think it's going to happen to you. And it's so cliche. You hear so many reality people say, oh, you never think it's going to happen to me, but if it happens to me, it could happen to you. But it is really true. In the group audition, yeah, they basically just pick you and say you're moving forward to come back the next day to interview with the producers. And you just basically just sit there and they have a camera in your face and you're answering all these questions and they pull up your application. So if you lie on there and don't remember what you've put, you're going to get put on the spot and look like an absolute twat. So make sure you're honest. And then after that, they give you your big envelope that says, yep, you've moved on to the next part. And then there's like medicals and psychs and all of that kind of stuff. And then I think it was maybe the end of January I found out. I got the phone call from the producer to say that I made it, and that was amazing. It was so exciting, but still surreal. Like it just doesn't feel real.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So for the next question, with going into the Big Brother house, what were you what was your emotions and what were you feeling at the time when you walked into the house?
So I had two stages of emotion. The first one was when they said you're going to go down to the house and you're like, oh my God, that's happening. And then I got there and they're like, oh, by the way, there's already people in there. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I've watched Big Brother forever and know that if you come late to the party, you're screwed. But not only that though, because the game had changed and it was now a game, coming in late, you're already giving the housemates that are in there a reason to nominate you already. So you're basically, here's a platter, vote for me because I'm a late comer. So that put another level of stress on yourself going in. But when you first walk in, I was so immersed in the fact, like, okay, I'm in the Big Brother house. Like, this is like, holy shit. Like, you just take in the actual house itself. And everything about the house. I kind of forgot about the housemates for a minute there and was just like, oh my God, this is the Big Brother house. You just get caught up in that atmosphere, and then it kind of, all these people are at you like, oh, who are you? What do you do? What do you do? Blah, 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 blah. It's a lot. But oh my God, it's so exciting.
So for my next question, with the challenges, what was the most like hardest challenge that you actually found difficult to do with, and what was the easiest challenge that you found quite easy?
Okay, so with me, it's probably a little bit different. So I have a neurological condition that affects my mobility. So when I would look at the challenge, I'd be like, holy shit, how the hell am I supposed to do that? So every challenge, some challenges you'd look at it, like the chime one, where it's the pole with the little sticks coming out, and you're wearing your sneakers, and you're like, oh yeah, I could do that. And then they're like, okay, take your shoes off, and you're like, and even on that challenge, I couldn't even get off the block. Like, my fat ass couldn't even get on these poles. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be the first person. They're going to be like, man, you can't even get on the pole. You're out. So I found that one the hardest. The easiest, I wouldn't say easy, but the one that I found worked well for me and my disability was the water funnel.
Oh, yeah.
Which was holding your finger up to plug the water. I think I lasted about 4 hours. So I was really, really excited for my own self. 4 hours doesn't seem like a long time considering the others were up there for like 8 or 6 or something. But for me, and overcoming my thought process of I can't do this, going 4 hours for me was such a huge achievement. So very, very proud of myself for that one.
Awesome. So for my next question, with the formatting of groups, like, because you all got into like groups together and everything, and you end up formatting groups like bonds and stuff. What was it like formatting like group rivals, and then like who did you get along with the most, and who didn't you get along with?
Yeah, so I knew that I love psychology, and so I knew going in normal everyday life, you go to a barbecue, you don't know someone, you find that one person you met that one time, and you'll just go over to them and then hang with them, and then all of a sudden, you'll meet different people and you'll find your people. So when I first went in there was already some animosity that had already happened prior to me arriving. And so you could feel that when we got there, and it was very much a them and an us. So, but I think that was because very early on, Daniel, Zoe, Xavier, and Casey and Matt had formed that friendship really early on. So I don't think at that point it was an alliance as such. I think it was just a group of people that found a common ground and stuck together. Whereas the others, there was no real formed group. It was a bunch of people that had close friends, but it wasn't an alliance as such. As the time went on, it became a real line in the sand that was an us and a them. In my game, I tried not to have one person or a group of people. And I also tried really hard, and my other cage mates tried really hard not to stick together, because that in itself was a group. So Shane went off with the boys, Hannah went off with the younger ones, and I kind of just decided to float around, because you don't want to be seen as an alliance, because then that's where that line's drawn. It becomes a them and an us. As far as people I was close with, I made a genuine effort with most people. Whether they made a genuine effort with me is a different story. I think when you have close friendships, there's no need to get to know me. I come late to the party. I don't have any alliances of my own. There's no real need to make me a part of your group. So you felt that. But as the time went on, I think I really loved Kieran. I seen his gameplay and I really appreciated it for what it was. He's very smart, very tactical, very strategic, and I love that. Garth as well, I pegged at the very first day. His social game was amazing, so I pegged him as well, but loved my cage mates like Hannah Sabong and Shane, loved them. And then, yeah, time goes on. You got to know Angela really well. Sarah and me became really close. I had a few close things with Sophie, Chad. So because I made an effort to get to know everybody, yeah, you just start forming those friendships. But outside of the house, I think this is another question of yours. I bet you it will be. Yeah, those friendships, obviously, because it's a game. I was only doing that in the game. It's a different story outside of the house.
Awesome. So for my next question, with the whole as you mentioned before, like with the whole outside of the game and stuff, who have you been keeping in contact with outside of the game?
Yeah, so my people, as I say, in my everyday life, who you go to a barbecue and meet and then make plans with to meet up later. So those people would be Kieran, Angela, Marissa, Hannah. Even though I didn't meet Alan in the house, me and him just clicked outside of the house. We're like two peas in a pod. Love him. Me and Sarah, I talked to Matt, I talked to Zoe. Me and Zoe, actually, we weren't close in the house, but outside the house, we became really, really good friends. So Zoe as well. Garth, I actually really, really think Garth is amazing. I think what he's doing outside the house is also amazing. Some things that he did from Big Brother to outside, I wasn't keen on. But again, even though he's not my person that I would probably, hang out with in my everyday life, I appreciate his charisma and he's just got an ability to just pull you in, and he's done so well on his podcast. So I will say to him and test him and say, so it's not that I don't like talk to a lot of people. I still appreciate them for who they are. I just you wouldn't catch me, having a drink with Talia. She's just not my cup of tea. But I wish, she's an amazing person, I'm sure, but we just don't gel.
Awesome. So for my next question, with the whole going into the house and everything, what do you think made yourself you? Like, what made you become a better person being in the house and then becoming outside the house?
Yeah, so this is funny. So when I did my audition video, I actually said, I think you'd learn so much. I think if you want to learn a lot about yourself, Big Brother is the perfect way to do it, because you don't get to walk around and see you from a mirror image. You don't get to see what other people see. You don't get to experience how other people experience you. So if you want to grow as a person, you could definitely take Big Brother on. It's going to be confronting, some things, and then other things you're just going to grow and say, you know what, I am a decent person. I actually came out knowing and going in and confirming, I'm a pretty decent person. Like, I'm relatively nice to everybody. I'm not a bully. I'm not full of shit. I'm not a liar. I was quite happy with who I came out of Big Brother as. The only thing that I was really disappointed with was because of the whole latecomer thing, and my strategy changed when I was told that. I had to really mute and dilute my personality. So when in a group setting, I normally would be really loud. Everyone would know who I am. I'd be hilarious and funny and all these things. But when I went in the Big Brother house, I consciously didn't want to be that person, because when you stand out, you can stand out for wrong reasons, and people can then look at you and go, oh yeah, Danny's this or Danny's that. So the one thing that I do regret is making the choice myself to dilute my personality in order to play the game. And I think Australia didn't get to see me, if that makes sense, because I think it would have been a different view that Australia would have had if they seen me as Danni and not me playing the game. And I think that's one thing that it's hard for people to understand, especially when it comes to, like, I know that there was a lot of backlash with Daniel and Xavier and the way that they played the game, and Matt as well. And that's not their character in their everyday life. That is a magnified view of them playing a game. It's kind of like, when you're sitting around a kitchen table with your family and you're playing Monopoly, and shit gets real. Oh, yeah. Like, people start stealing people's money. Like, it's like a magnified version of that. And so you don't see all the funny, like, banter and all that kind of stuff it doesn't show your true character. It shows your gameplay character. And so I think, yeah, that's the toughest part. But like I said, I made the choice to change in order for me to play my game. It just doesn't then correlate to live TV and whether or not Australia audience likes you, or you come across as being like boring or quiet.
Awesome. So for my next question, what was elimination like going into the elimination round?
Horrendous. Because they'd been in there prior to me arriving, they like say to you, like, shit goes down in the elimination room, like, get ready because the drama is just amped up. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing, I can't wait. And then you get in there and you're like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Like, everyone's saying stuff that they wouldn't say outside in normal, and it's so good, it's just a room, but for some reason everyone grows balls in that elimination room and shit just gets said, and it's like you're sitting there like it's popcorn time. When you're actually nominated, oh man, you're sweating balls. It's nuts. Because I think, I don't know what other people, but for me, I was in there just for the experience. I really honestly didn't think too much about winning. It didn't really faze me. Just being there was exciting for me. And so specifically for mine, when I was up, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that my experience is going to come to an end because of this shit. It just seems so trivial to me. So I was really disappointed. I knew as soon as I was nominated that I was going home. Again, because you've just given everyone a reason, an easy out. You know, let's vote for Danni. We don't know her because she's a latecomer. So that was a bit shitty. But yeah, sweating balls in that room.
Awesome. So for my very last question, Danni, so what advice would you give someone wanting to apply for Big Brother if they could?
You just have to. Even if you think about applying, just do it. Like, what have you got to lose? Like, the worst that they can turn around and say is you're not successful. But at least you have given it a go. I think that's the biggest thing in life these days, is just give it a crack. You don't know what they're looking for. Like, you go in there thinking, oh no, there's going to be other people that are better than me. But if they do go in with a plan, let's be real, like the producers do think, okay, we want a mum, we want a, you know, an athletic hot guy, we want a, you know, awesome cool chick, we want this. Like, they do have things that they're looking for. So I think you just have to embrace your individuality and what are you going to bring to the table. You know, I really push the fact that I'm a real person. I will tell it how it is. There's no bullshit about me. You know, I went through having a disability. I'm a mum. So they're my individual things that are only true to me. So I think finding out what is true to you and what you identify as is the first step. And then, yeah, just apply and just go for it, I reckon. It's the best experience. If you get in, like, you will not regret it.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Danni, for appearing on my show. It means so much. Everyone definitely go support Danni. She was truly incredible, Big Brother, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So, Danni, keep up the amazing and incredible work. And any last final thoughts or anything that you would like to say?
Just support. Like, I know that you get caught up in the drama and the TV and you don't want to. I'm a big reality buff, and you know, I'll watch the TV drama and I'm like, oh my God, that bitch, like, I'm not gonna like her, and then you get caught up in that TV drama. But yeah, at the end of the day, look, they're all people, and it's better to support than to bring each other down. So yeah, definitely support. Even if you might not agree with something that they're doing, or, you know, there's no need to bully and all that kind of stuff. It's just not worth it. Just support each other.